So the man this Wednesday, June 19th, that says that I'm harassing him leaves at 6:56 in the morning. You know, he's just trying to make it so that I can't get outside to do anything while he's gone, because that's the only time I go outside to do anything in my backyard, because he harasses me. He hides behind his lattice on his porch, and got mirrored windows up there so that nobody can see him but he can see you. Gets in his window, hollers, does all kind of things, screaming. So he leaves early, trying to avoid me being able to get outside. He goes down towards Slade's, which I got a no contact order with because he involved these boys in harassing me. So a few minutes later, Slade comes by. In this truck that the mufflers are illegal. I'm going to back that up so you can see it. You know, I'm out in the backyard, and this truck is so loud you wouldn't believe it. He probably is going to meet Gilman. I don't know that for sure, but that's a real possibility. So while he's gone, I go outside to pull weeds. I have zoysia grass in the back, and I'm trying to get rid of my Bermuda. So I go out there and try to pull some of it up. Pull weeds, pull crabgrass. Just something that I enjoy doing is trying to develop a carpet like grass. Just something, it's a hobby. So while I'm out there for a very few minutes, here comes Pete Martin. No shirt on. He's an ex-military policeman. And basically what he's doing is just watching me for Gilman while Gilman's gone. These men are crazy in this neighborhood. I cannot be outside without one of them coming outside pestering me, watching me. And Pete Martin has kind of followed me around too. I don't know if they're sharing some kind of telephone GPS where they have my phone number. There he is. He's just kind of watching me. He's just a weirdo too. Him, Gilman, and Randy, they're all three ex-veterans, and they're just nuts. I mean, they can't turn it off. And the bad thing is, Randy and this man are married. Where is your wife when you're outside watching the single lady down the street? And he just walks back and forth. I finally notice him, and I'm like, what a loser. You got to be out here seeing what I'm doing. You're weird. And your grandson, who paces back and forth, back and forth, back and forth at night from that building to the back porch. Just paces. I asked Janet what he was doing one time, which is Pete's wife, and she said that he was using the phone and he just paced back and forth. Well, that's just real indication there's some kind of problem right there if you would pace back and forth in your backyard like that. Nobody does that. And all along here, I've got crabgrass growing and Bermuda growing into my mulch, where he has turned his lawnmower to face my property and discharge it on grass seed and crabgrass seed right here. So I don't have it anywhere else in the yard much. Just it's concentrated right here. So he's behind this building right here first. He just seems to be meandering around, which most men do not do. Then he comes over to this bush and stands behind this bush for several minutes. Just stands behind the bush. Well, first he goes up here, and then he comes back to the bush and just stands behind the bush. You can see his legs right there. And then, no. And he just kind of meanders back to his building. He's just kind of looking down at the ground, not doing nothing, kicking rocks around, something or another. Goes in his building. He's probably watching me through the door. He's just weird. These men on the street, I think they're all retarded. Because, like, it's like 7:07 in the morning. He's just out kind of messing around. So he's been watching me from the building door. Then it suddenly jumps forward to there. Right here, my cameras jump forward. They told me somebody told me on Facebook that they have a special tool to disable my camera, so it jumped forward 10 seconds. That would have shown him standing behind the bush. I'm doing it very slow motion. And he gets behind this bush, and then suddenly he disappears behind the bush. He gets behind the bush again. I mean, it's like something's wrong with the cameras. There he is. When I do it slow, it goes through it. So he kind of stops behind the bush for about 10 seconds. But when you play it normally, it jumps forward like 11 seconds. But he just paces back and forth like some kind of weirdo. He's not really doing anything. He's just kind of watching me nonchalantly like a weirdo. I mean, he's bringing his truck to where I'm at, too. I mean, he just shows up like they have a shared GPS on my car, my vehicle. These men on the streets appear to be sharing a GPS on me. So he just paces back and forth. I mean, just very weird. He continues to do this, but I just ignore him. I continue to pull weeds, pull up Bermuda grass. He just paces back and forth. He's just a weirdo. Stalking weirdo. You got a wife in the house. What is wrong with you? If I was your wife, I'd be out there pulling your hair out of your head, telling you to get your behind in the house. I guess that's where his grandson gets it, because here he is doing it. You know, he doesn't have a legitimate reason, apparently, to be out in the yard. It doesn't appear that he does. He's just trying to watch me and be weird, because that's what Gilman does. He gets other people to watch me when he's gone for 10 or 12 minutes to get his beer. I just continue to pull weeds and pull up Bermuda, and he continues to be a stalking weirdo. I'm just going to show it to you in fast motion. And there he comes. And Pete Martin goes in quickly, like a minute before, but here's the person that Gilman's telling everybody that is harassing him, hightailing it into the house because I don't want to be near him. I don't want him to be on his back porch where his lattice is, watching me like a pervert, just being weird, just like Pete Martin has been. So he tells the police that I harass him, but guess what? The person that he says is harassing him took off and went inside the house to get away from him. Now, if I was harassing him, see, I would confront him. I'd go to where he's at, like he does me. I would be saying things to him, but instead, I'm running in the house to get away from him. Doesn't look like somebody that's harassing him because I'm not on the offense. I'm on the defense.